Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes, and today we're going to have a quick look at some complex jazz chord progressions made simple on the guitar. I'm not going to take you through that entire chord progression I just played. It is quite complex, quite long, but I just want to talk about some of the shapes and some of the movements I made in and out of those chords. Fundamentally, that chord progression is full of seventh chords. So here, that's a G7th, G, F and B. I'm really focusing on strings 6, 4 and 3, the notes G, F and B, if you look at my left-hand grip there. And then this is a C7th chord. So I'm playing G, E and B flat, focusing again on 6, 4 and 3, those three notes. So we haven't got a C in that shape. We haven't got the C, the fundamental note, in a C7th chord. That's not a problem. Some of the best jazz piano players and jazz guitar players, when they were backing up singers and instrumentalists, would deliberately leave out key voicings in a chord just to give air to the sound in the background and to let the singer or the instrumentalist have some space. They can play whatever note they want to. The guitar player or the piano player doesn't always have to spell out every note in the chord. It's certainly not a jazz sound to be going, even though in that case, in standard first position G7th and C7th, we are playing all the notes in those chords. So G7th, C7th. Now the other thing I'm doing is I'm comping, sort of staccatoing each of those chords by just lifting the pressure off the strings and dancing on the frets. Now that little interesting progression, look at that shape. Big, beautiful, open, expanded voicing. Well, that's just a major chord. That's an A, an F, and a C. Think about that, A, F, and C. If we jumbled those in the other order of F, A, and C, we've got an F major chord, and that's exactly what that is. So I'm going G7th to F major, to F sharp major, to G major. It's a great little way to walk my way up the neck, because the next chord I want to play is C7th. So now I'm almost where I want to be, on the 8th fret, same shape as up here. That's a G7. The name of the chord is my index finger. Well, if I take my index finger up to the 8th fret, adopt exactly the same shape, that's got to be a C7th chord. I then change that shape. I reverse fingers 1 and 2, and the only real change is C has become C sharp in the bass. So C7th has turned into a diminished chord. Okay, so C7th, C sharp diminished. Then down here, I take that same shape up 12 frets. Because I've got a cutaway in my guitar, I can easily reach up there to the 15th fret. I strongly recommend, if you haven't got a cutaway in your guitar, it's one of the great advantages of having it, in that you can play the full range of the instrument. So here I'm going G7th, G flat 7th, F 7th, E 7th. Now I change back to this shape, but this time instead of having my index finger up the top, I am actually going to play strings 5, 4 and 3 this time, which is a 7th chord, the name of which is whatever your second finger is, whatever the note is on the A string. So I'm coming in here from B flat 7th to A 7th, walking back to A flat 7th. So see what I'm doing there? I'm going sliding into A7th, then sliding below it, and then sliding into D7th, and then back to G7th, and then I just do a pretty complex progression, which we won't go into here, but I'm using a combination of those different 7th shapes and walking my way through a quite complex sort of turnaround there. We'll look at that in another lesson. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've heard the guitar sound in a true jazz context. Complex chords, but only really 3 different chord shapes there, 3 or 4 different chord shapes, none of which are hard. Bye for now.